to another video. Thanks so much for tuning in. You know, before we get started, I have to ask, have you looked into the mirror today and told yourself that you're beautiful, that you're worthy, that you're competent? If not, stop this video, go ahead and do that, and then come right back and we can get started.
Yes, so in this video, we're going to be talking about how we study for step 2 and the ways in which you can be prepared to do excellent on step 2, CK. Yes. So let's just hop into this video.
Yeah, so I feel like the biggest thing and the thing that we want to make sure that first and foremost, is that the harder you study during your third year clerkships, the better you're going to be prepared for step 2 for your dedicated period. Because you want that step 2 dedicated period to be really simple. Some people don't even have a dedicated period. They just incorporate it into the end of their third year. Mm-hmm. And so in order to be successful up until that point, you need to study hard throughout your third year clerkship. So for your MBMEs, your shelf exams, or whatever. And that way, when you do study specifically for step 2, it's just like a review. So you want studying for step 2 to be a review in the end during your dedicated period. So definitely take those rotations seriously, take those shelf exams seriously, do very well on them, especially your PEDS, your surgery, and your IM, because those have the highest components to step 2. IM is the biggest component of step 2. It's 50 to 60%. They have the breakdown of all of them on the MBME website. But yeah, so definitely IM, you need to know. Code. So make sure you prepare well for all of those, and then it'll be easy to study for step 2.
Yeah, and we were in a unique position because one, we had our internal medicine and surgery rotations at the end, closer to us studying for step 2, and then we had a longer time period to study for step 2. So take that into consideration. For those of you who are looking at this video, looking for ways to prepare for step 2, just keep that in mind. If you take internal medicine and surgery early, you may have to try a little bit harder to remember that information because it's not as fresh. You took it a year ago. So, yeah.
And that's when things like Anki come into come in really handy, just because if you're an Anki person, if you do anything that has spaced repetition, if you have IM, surgery, whatever, at the beginning of your third year, if you're continuously doing those cards, if you're the type of person who is actually using Anki the way you're supposed to use it, you're still doing those review cards, you're still doing those cards throughout your whole third year, then literally it'll be a review for step 2, and you'll just be doing the practice exams and doing UWorld questions if you hadn't done them already, or redoing your UWorld questions. So definitely if you do have those rotations early on, you try to do something to where you're keeping that information fresh and that you're seeing it on a regular basis.
Yeah. So I guess we can first start with resources that we use and then tackle how we use those resources for step 2. For me, I used as far as books is concerned, I used Pastana because that was how I studied for surgery a lot, and that was my last rotation, like I said. And then I used, what's it called? Step Up to Medicine for.
I have all the books here, actually.
Yeah, I used Step Up to Medicine quarterly for internal medicine stuff. So that was the books that I found the most helpful. Was there any additional books that you found helpful?
Yeah, so I use Online Med Ed. I mean, it's videos, but I use this book that came with it, so it basically has all of the charts and the videos printed on here, so that you can just write your own notes in there. Because I feel for me, I would kind of get lost trying to write down all of my notes while listening to the video. So this was just a lot more helpful because I didn't have to write down the chart. I could just listen and fill in things as I needed to fill them in. So this was really, really helpful for me. Honestly, I didn't start this at the beginning of third year, which is why some of these are empty, because I had already watched the videos and taken notes. I didn't feel the need to go back in and retake the notes. But if you use it starting third year, this will be a great review towards the end. And you can just literally just watch the videos however many times you need to, but you really won't have to write anything because you'll have all your notes right here.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I watched all of the Online Med Ed videos.
Yeah.
At least once, sometimes twice, depending on how hard the concept was for me. I would watch it once or twice.
Yeah, I definitely watched all the videos twice. Sometimes, some of them 5 times. So I watched Online Med Ed. So yeah, for me, Online Med Ed, UWorld, and then Step Up to Medicine were my go-to. I did Anki cards, but I was not consistent. I actually never was super duper consistent with Anki, and so I only used it to supplement certain areas. So it was really just Online Med Ed, Step Up to Medicine, and UWorld that I used. If you've been using Amboss throughout all of third year, continue to use Amboss.
Using it.
If you use both, choose one, I would say. Like choose one specifically for step 2, like because you would at that point you would have already done all of MBOS for like your third year clerkships, and then you can just like switch to UWorld or like vice versa, whatever. But definitely just choose one because the questions like it's gonna be the same content and the same material, unless you run out of those questions and you want to supplement with more questions.
And as far as UWorld, I went over it once and then I did incorrects or like my mark questions. I didn't like restart my UWorld at all. I just went through the marked and the missed questions, but I had to do a second run at it because that was what I found was, first of all, I got a lot wrong. So it was like a lot. It felt like a second run, but it was helpful for me to like analyze like why I was getting those questions wrong again and again. So
yeah, I went through it basically almost twice. So I went through it the first time, and then I restarted mine, and then I went through it twice. I didn't finish it the second time, but I got pretty close, and I finished enough. And then as I like went through my questions, I annotated them in Step Up to Medicine. That way, if there was something that I kept getting wrong or like a concept that I didn't understand, I would like mark it in here, and then I could go back and review it. So mainly during dedicated, I was just doing UWorld and kind of reviewing Step Up to Medicine. Me like writing out stuff helps me remember. So yeah, that's really all I did during dedicated.
And then of course you have the MBME practice tests. I utilized those throughout the whole dedicated period. So we had like almost 3 months to study. But essentially what I did was I did like almost like a diagnostic test in the beginning to see where I was at. I did one halfway through. I think we had like 4 or 5. I can't remember how many we had. Like 4 maybe MBMEs.
There's 6, 7, 8, and then UWorld 1 and 2.
Oh yes, UWorld 1 and 2. UWorld also has a supplemental stuff. Okay, yeah. So I kind of I definitely took one in the very beginning before I started really got into dedicated, and I dispersed the rest of them out throughout the rest of dedicated season. And so I pretty much was able to see improvement or decreases to see where I needed to improve on.
Since we had so much time, and I'm not gonna lie, there was a time I really wasn't studying during all that time. I just took a break because I was like, I'm gonna like burn out. So I just like stopped studying for a while. But I did do a diagnostic MBME in the beginning, and I think it was like almost like it was over a month before I took another practice test because I just had that long of a period of time because my test date kept getting pushed back. So then I took another MBME after I had been studying again for a while, and then like towards the end is kind of when I was doing them every week. So I would do, I think I did 6 first, and then I did 7 after like a month and a half, and then I waited like 2 weeks, and then I did 8, and then I did UWorld 1 and UWorld 2 within like 1 week. And those I would say for last because they are actually the most predictive. Like when we were talking about step 1, like those they were kind of all over the place. Like UWorld 1 and UWorld 2 weren't as predictive or weren't known to be as predictive, and I hate like saying this, but I mean, it's kind of true. Like for step 2, it's gonna ballpark your score pretty well. Like studying for step 2, like I said, it's really about how you prepare during your third year clerkships. Like if you're successful during that, or if you're at least like having good study habits and like learning the material and the content, regardless of the scores that you're getting on the shelf exams, like you'll be fine for step 2.
And just to be like open with you guys, we definitely had an increase. We're not just telling you guys because this is just what everyone's doing for step 2. I had a 16 point increase from my step 1 score to my step 2 score. That is a significant increase because I was actually consistent. And I also had a tutor that was helping me analyze questions and stuff. But that was something that I feel like people don't talk about as much, is like there was also improvement in what we're doing. So it actually worked, which is why we wait until we tell you guys stuff, because we don't want to just be telling y'all
false information.
That didn't work.
Yeah, that's very true. Like I increased by almost 30 points, y'all.
Yeah.
So like when I say just be successful, and that's why I'm saying like regardless of like the shelf exam scores, because I didn't do amazing on all of my shelf exams. Like I was average or like sometimes below average, but I studied well and like I learned the material, and then I like found the areas that I was weak in and make sure like I reviewed those. And so when I really started focusing just on questions, because I had done everything else, like I really got to cement those topics and those that content, and so like that's why I saw improvement in my score. But yeah, if you don't do well in step 1, y'all, like it is okay. Like I was crying and boo-hooing because of my score for step 1, but I improved significantly, and it's common for people to improve significantly. So like don't let step 1 be the end all be all. Like you will be okay
as long as you work hard during third year.
Exactly. So step 2 is not as scary as like people make it seem sometimes. I mean, people say step 2 is easier, and it's only easier because you had all of your third year to prepare for it.
Yeah, that's literally it. Because it's still a board exam. You're still gonna be nervous.
It's still challenging.
It's still challenging. I think I I think I didn't anticipate how challenging it was gonna be for me because I thought that people were like, oh, it's gonna be. I don't like to use the word easy. Easy
ain't nothing that man's easy, honey. Don't let nobody
fool you. Like those words are very. I take words very seriously. So when you tell me something's gonna be
I think it's gonna be easy.
It's supposed to be a breeze. No, it was not. Like I still struggle a little bit.
Yeah.
I had some hiccups and stuff. So I mean, your journey is your journey, but just remember that step 2 CK is a lot less challenging to handle because you went through a board exam already.
Yeah. You've been through the struggle that is step 1. So it's okay. And please, like, we low-key had PTSD during dedicated for step 2 because we just didn't want to repeat the same thing that happened for step 1. And so that was a whole nother thing that we had to like get ourselves through.
Stuff.
Yes.
Not
so like
study.
if that's you, if you had a horrible experience with step 1, like I can say this confidently, like you will be okay. And step 2 will be better. Just like claim it and just like speak it into existence and you will be okay. So yeah, and then when we match, cause we are gonna match real soon, honey. 3 months, crazy. But when we match, like I'm super duper transparent, so I will actually share I literally haven't told anybody but my mama my step 1 score, honestly. But I'll share like my step 1 score, my step 2 score, like all the deets. I'll even say like how I did during my clerkships. That way you can really have a good idea of like our standings and what we did to see like how you would be competitive wise, like matching into the specialties that we're going into. Just so you know, because I feel like people be real quiet about like their standings and stuff in medical school, but you want to see like what you really do need to do to be a competitive applicant for residency. So
coming soon, guys. Let us match first so that we can cement our 10 toes down into whatever specialty, and then we can answer all of like the burning invasive questions that y'all probably have. So
we know y'all know. It's okay.
I was really too.
We know you too.
So yeah, hopefully you found this video helpful. Let us know if you have any further questions. Of course, we have a giveaway happening with every video this month. If you haven't been aware of that, catch up.
Where you been? Where you at?
So this week we're gonna be doing a giveaway that entails
a coffee maker and a mug.
Yes.
A really cute like medical mug. So we have pictures like after we announce the giveaway, like we post pictures that week so you can see what the giveaway gifts are. But yeah, it's gonna be a coffee maker and a cute little medical mug because it's gonna be like your coffee, like your what to get you through the day studying and stuff. You have some coffee drinking. So that's what our giveaway is for this week.
Yes.
Our second to last giveaway.
Yeah, we're almost done.
Yeah, we hope you've enjoyed it thus far. We really liked like buying stuff for y'all. We're like giving back and stuff, so it's been fun.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So don't forget to and all the information is going to be in the info box below.
Yes.
But don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Share with a friend.
Or 2 or 10. And we will see you in our next video.
Bye, y'all.